Hi guys, what's up? Zax here. Today we're here once again to talk about some F1 2014 ideas, but today we've got a special guest in the name of Ben.
Hey guys, pleasure to be here, and hopefully I can bring some insightful ideas for you all to listen to today.
So, I think one of the big reasons why I wanted to have you on here was because you've got an next-gen console, and I think a big thing that has been talked about in F1 games is moving to next gen and how they're going to cope with it, what can they add, what will they maybe take away. I'm not really too sure because I haven't got a next-gen console yet. I know you've got an Xbox One, so maybe you can reflect on that. And
Well, yeah, definitely. The thing that I notice about next gen is it's just so powerful and so visually good to look at. And in terms of Codemasters games, they tend to be really good on the graphical side and just the smoothness of the game. So switching to next gen would definitely make the game a lot more pretty to look at. Definitely have it in 1080p and 60 frames a second. That'd be simply fantastic to see in the game. But in terms of additional memory, hopefully that'll provide Codemasters a lot more, I don't know, room or margin for error to add in more stuff. Because as it stands with the current gen consoles, big thing that Steve Hood has been saying that there's not enough memory to do things, and with
yeah,
next gen consoles, I think maybe there's finally time to do that.
yeah, I sort of do feel quite a lot of games that have been developed for current gen or old gen, whatever you want to call it. They're sort of on the brink of what they can possibly do. I mean, because the sort of, as you say, the graphics in F1 Codemasters games in general are really quite good. But I reckon they can do quite a lot with the physics and all that sort of stuff with the next gen. Because obviously they're really good with the sort of colours, graphics, all that sort of stuff. But I still think there is a little bit to come in terms of the sort of, I don't know how to put it, but just sort of how the car drives. It sort of make it a bit more immersive, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. I think they could definitely play with the force feedback a little bit more. I think that's something that's been lacking just a little bit the last couple games, and with a bit more memory and a bit more compatibility, if that's the right word,
Yeah.
I think he could definitely make the game feel a little bit more realistic in that aspect. So yeah.
I mean, sort of the reason I sort of brought this up because I looked a couple of days ago and Steve Hood was sort of tweeting about next gen. So I reckon it's a good chance that we're going to see it on Xbox One and PS4, but I'm not sure whether they're going to be able to deal with the transition. I really hope they will, because obviously, I don't know with Call of Duty, but it doesn't seem to have been the best game yet with the transition and everything. So hopefully something like that doesn't happen. Hopefully it's still a solid game for current gen and next gen. But I don't know, maybe the sort of bringing in the next gen will even make the current gen better. I don't really know, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think F1 2014 will have to be current gen and next generation, I think,
Yeah.
because even a year after next gen has come out, I think a lot of people will still be on current gen. But in terms of adapting to the new gen, I think it should be fairly easy. I think the Xbox 360 will be a little bit easier the Xbox side, sorry, will be a little bit easier to program for because it's pretty similar to the Xbox One, whereas PS3, I think it's just wired a little bit differently and might
Hmm.
not be as compatible. But um, yeah, new consoles, new technology should be better. Yeah, it should just allow them to have a bit more flexibility, I suppose, to make a better game.
So we hope it's on next gen, but I guess it will be on current gen, and so that's probably a good note to wrap up that sort of part. So the next thing I'd noted down was a difficulty bar. So I don't know whether you've played R Factor, but
No, not yet.
I think there's a difficulty bar. I think it goes from like 80% to 120%, so you can find like the exact difficulty, like so there's like 40 difficulty levels in there to find out the specific difficulty that you want to be playing at. Because at the moment I think we've got 5 difficulties you can play at.
Yep.
So I don't know, for you, you like you're too good for legend or whatever. I don't know what's the top one now. Is it legend
Yeah,
still?
yeah, I think it's legendary, yeah. But
So
are you getting at where you have difficulty sliders?
yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool because Yeah, as you say, there's only five difficulties to pick from, and sometimes going from one notch up to the next, it might be too great of a step for someone to cope with. So
Hmm.
maybe if you move it up in little increments like 5%, 10%, it might be a little bit easier for people to adapt to. So yeah, that's a good idea, and hopefully it gets implemented, but we'll see what happens, I
I suppose that
suppose.
is something as well with the next gen. They can add these little features, maybe like an extra two or three difficulty levels that they can just add in because they've got the extra memory and sort of I don't know, sort of power in the console to add the extra stuff that people have been wanting for so much, but sort of not been able to have because the current gen console is just isn't there in terms of some of the hardware stuff.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I don't think they need to really do too much in terms of making it easier. I think they
Oh
need
yeah.
to add in extra difficulties at the higher end just to challenge people who are a little bit faster and who know the right setups and who have sort of that advantage over the AI. Because if you're like in career mode and you jump in like a Red Bull or a Mercedes or something and you have a good setup, then it's almost not a challenge
Mm.
when you're racing against the AI. So hopefully they can make the game a lot harder in that aspect, or just add extra difficulties. That'd be fine.
Yeah. So how sort of much faster would you say you are in a Red Bull than the fastest car in career mode is or whatever on
I
Legend?
haven't I haven't tried a Red Bull yet. I've only used the Mercedes for my career mode, but
Hmm.
I feel like I'm about a second faster than the rest of the AI at least. I sort of have to ease off a little bit. At the
Yeah.
moment, I'm actually racing with no setup, the stock
Yeah.
setup, so it's actually quite an advantage. So at least make them a second faster, and that would be a nice start, I think.
Yeah. And I suppose as well, I'm not sure because I think the Xbox 360 you have to pay for patches, and I'm not sure whether you have to do it for PC. So I'm not sure whether that stays on to Xbox One. But if Xbox makes it free to patch a game, then I think Codemasters got so much more of an incentive to add in maybe an extra car, extra difficulty levels down the line. But I think it cost them quite a bit of money just to release a patch. So
Yeah, yeah, that's true. I think I read somewhere a little while ago that in terms of clarification for next gen consoles, patching games is going to be a lot easier, and I don't think they need as much permission or
mhm.
authorization to do it. So I think it should be on an even level in terms of the PC who they can just implement patches straight away. So that's very good news for console users, and I'm looking forward to that come next year.
Because I'm not 100% sure, but I think in 2012 the PC had about 20 patches or something like that before we even had one on console. So I think
Yeah.
they had like one on day one or something. So you know
Yeah,
the
but because they have to pay the like Microsoft and maybe Sony. I'm not too sure about Sony, but they do have to pay Microsoft a fee every time they introduce a patch. So Codemasters just introduced bundles and they included, say, patches, 1 to 6 from the PC. So I guess it's just a cost reduction sort of thing there.
yeah, and I think was it the Xbox as well? Was it the PS3? I can't remember, but for the latest update for Xbox, they had to sort of make it smaller or something. I can't remember. They had to take some bits out of it because they like Xbox has like a size or the maximum size you can have as a patch, and they couldn't go
Is
over it
this
or
for F?
whatever.
Is this for
Yeah,
F1?
yeah, for F1. I can't remember which
Yeah, I
console it
think
was
they
on.
they have to. Yeah, I think it was Xbox 360. They have to yeah, compress the file a little bit because there's like the maximum limit. You can't go
Mm.
over it or something. So yeah, not too sure why that's the case. Maybe someone in the comments could let us know.
Yeah, as it's a bit unfortunate for the Xbox 360 people in that aspect, as they would have had maybe less stuff, or it might not have worked as efficiently as the PS3 side. But I don't know. I haven't actually played the PS3 version of F1 2013, so I can't really tell. I mean, I think you
Yeah,
have a little bit of it.
yeah. I've been playing a little bit of PS3 lately. With Arava for my
Yeah.
Road to Glory, Return to Glory series, and I always get the names confused. So sorry, Arav, but um. With the PS3, it's actually quite different in terms of the force feedback. It's a lot stronger on PS3, but
Mhm.
in terms of the damage model and the contact system on PS3, it's so damn sensitive. You
Oh
could
yeah.
just give a guy a little touch and you'll spin around, and it just amazes me. how much different it is from the two consoles, and I think PC is the best for the lag sort of thing. So, but PS3, I think that definitely needs to be patched because it's been an issue since F1 2012. At least
Mm.
that's what I noticed. But yeah, maybe with next gen consoles, the two platforms between Xbox One and PS4, I think it should be a lot more even, and it should be yeah, I guess fully even between the two consoles. So there shouldn't
Yeah.
be any differences, hopefully. So yeah.
Alright, so the last thing I've got on my list of three is to have all the online issues, or most of them, as many as possible, to have them fixed for F1 2014. Because I know for you, in particular, this is, 'cause obviously you take part in, well, you used to take part in quite a lot of sort of leagues from different
Online leagues,
countries.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I guess the internet connection was always pretty bad. So maybe with the extra hardware and stuff that they can add into next gen, I'm not sure whether it's really as much of a thing as the other things we talked about, but
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because with next gen consoles, they've definitely upped the ante in terms of their online servers. At least for Xbox, there's so many more servers across the world, so potentially the lag could be better. Having better hardware, better memory as well, that could make things a lot better too. But mostly it comes down to Codemasters because they're the ones who are handling their own netcode, and they're
yeah.
sort of responsible for the lag sync issues or the bubbles and stuff. Because on F1 2010, the actual lag in netcode was actually fine. It actually got sort of worse as you progress through F1 2011, F1 2012, and now F1 2013. So hopefully the guys at Codemasters are really focus hard on that netcode and get it right for F1 2014. That'd just be awesome for online and for leagues. I think they'll definitely flourish if the online lag is eradicated.
Because I think that's the big thing with 2013 is that a lot of people don't want to play online, so they don't join leagues, and it's sort of a spiraling effect of less people playing the game, which is unfortunate at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true. But I think at the moment they're actually working on a patch for online because Codemasters have heard a lot about a lot of the issues that have been happening
Yeah,
with online since the last patch. So hopefully it's fixed for this game. But yeah, if there's no lag, no issues or anything, then a lot of people will be racing online. That's just been the main thing. The main reason why people haven't been online as much because there's just so much lag and stuff ruining races, which you know sort of deters people away from playing online, unfortunately.
yeah. So that was my three things. Do you got anything you want to talk about, maybe?
Um, yeah, I've got a few things. I got a list here from an old video I did
Mhm.
a little while ago. I'll just talk about those briefly.
Yep.
The first thing was actually a team manager mode where you could like be a team boss or a sort of thing like you are on FIFA, where you're
Yeah.
a player manager and you
S
could pretty much manage the whole team and stuff. And sort of making that relevant to F1. You could start your own F1 team or something, hire your drivers. One driver be a real driver, and the other driver
oh
is a
yeah.
custom driver. And yeah, you choose your livery, you choose your sponsors, and yeah, you choose I don't know the parts and upgradable stuff and all that sort of thing. I think that'd be really awesome and it'd definitely add a new dimension to single player and career mode. But
Especially with the, well,
yeah.
obviously with next gen as well, is we sort of I've talked about so much this video, having the extra hardware and everything available might actually let them have stuff like that in the game.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, that'd be awesome to see. Another thing that could easily be improved, but it does come down to licensing, and I think that's like a driver transfer market window where you
Mm.
could allow people to switch teams after a season. I think that'd be really nice to see.
Yeah, that'd be really cool actually.
Um and I think that's just about everything. I do have a few small notes like manual pit stops where you could just slow down and um, get under the pit speed and then slow down for your boxes like you did on F1 2010.
Mhm.
That'd be pretty cool. Um,
And also
and
with that sort of thing, you could I don't know. I think it was one of the PS2 games or a couple of them where you could like do a certain button combination, change your tires and everything.
oh, really? Wow.
I can't
I
remember.
didn't know that.
I think it was F1 Career Challenge. I can't remember, but I think you go into the pitch, you like apply the brake, and then you can like press T, not T, triangle to change the wheels or something like that. So make it a bit more a bit harder in the pit lane or something. I don't really know. Something to make it just a bit more complex, make it a bit more interesting to like lose time in the stops.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, just have a button maybe to slow down for the pit limiter, and I don't know, press a button to stop or a clutch or something. I don't know, but with F1 when you run like manual gears and you have KERS and DRS, I think that's a lot of buttons that it takes up on the controller.
Yeah,
So I think
actually, yeah.
not too sure if you'd have too many more buttons spare to to work the controls. So that'd be pretty interesting. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up everything that I've got to say apart from driver customization. It would be nice if you could choose your own helmet, like choose a design and maybe
Yeah.
play around with the colors and stuff. That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, that's pretty much it for my end of the scale. Have you got anything else, Alex?
That is pretty much what I've got down on my list. So, shall I wrap up the video? Is that everything
Yeah, sure.
discussed about? So, yeah, thank you for Ben for joining me in this video. I appreciate that a lot. And yeah, thank you for watching. And maybe if you want any comments, you can put them in the comment section. But yeah, thank you for watching, and goodbye.